Hello, everybody, again. Pick up on Job. Job's interesting. I'll read you the introduction to Job. I might tell you about him. Uh, the wisdom of Proverbs describes how godly character generally leads to success. So it gives you this blueprint of how you should try to behave. And the commandments, of course, are the laws, and there's other ordinances put forth by God. Ecclesiastes, I believe Proverbs was probably mostly written by Solomon. It's attributed to him. Ecclesiastes is attributed to him. And it's a very important book as well. Ecclesiastes tempers this, warning that rewards are not guaranteed, since a kind of crookedness has come into our world. Success, accomplishments, success, wealth, materialism, all that sort of thing, power, fame, corrupt. We chase after things that were so transient, so pointless. So they don't really give us deep-rooted happiness, and they don't fulfill us, and they don't save us, prevent us from leaving this world. The book of Job goes further, exploring how righteous people sometimes suffer. This is something you don't understand. Why does a righteous, a good person suffer? The book of Job uses a common literary device from the wisdom traditions of the ancient world, an extended conversation based on poetic speeches. And again, like all of them, everything that person, place, event that's written of may or may not necessarily have happened, but in the way that it's written, as that you're reading. That's why you have to ask for discernment, so you can see the truth of the meaning behind what you're reading. Was it an actual event or based on actual events? Like watching a movie. This is a true event. True events based on true events, based partially on true events. Same thing with what you're reading. Job is introduced as a good man, but the adversary, the devil in Hebrew, points out an apparent problem in God's moral oversight of the universe. He's trying to instruct God, say, hey, you're wrong in this. If goodness is always rewarded, how can we know if it's born from love of God or desire for gain? So God allows the adversary, the devil, to bring suffering into Job's life. Job doesn't curse God as the adversary predicted, but ends up debating with three friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. Their overly rigid view of the moral universe convinces them that Job's own wrongdoing has caused his suffering. A young man, Elihu, joins the conversation later, while Job continues to insist that he has done nothing wrong and deserves a hearing before God. Finally, God reveals the power and wisdom shown in his oversight of creation. This whole reason for everything, which you will learn. But you have to start to learn it. Start to learn it here. And as you leave this world and hopefully ascend to the light, then you still learn it. You still continue to learn. Job then humbly admits his own limited understanding, because he was being a little cocky, a little proud of what he thought or understood about God. You don't want to do that. It's self-righteousness. When God rebukes Job's three friends, we see they are guilty of a far worse assumption than Job. In the end, God blesses Job with twice as much as he had before. The book warns us to avoid reducing God's moral rule to easy formulas. No one's going to fully understand God, not even the devil. He presumed that he was equal to God or better. This came from his vanity, which was the original sin. That's really why he got kicked out, because that vanity led to him rebelling. Job 1, and here you see this is how God uses the devil. Think how many other times he used the devil as well for his purposes. God can use anything or anyone. Job 1. Sorry. In the land of Uz, there lived a man whose name was Job. This man was blameless and upright. He feared God and shunned evil. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters, and he owned 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 donkeys, a large number of servants. He was the greatest man among all the people of the East. His sons used to hold feasts in their homes on their birthdays, and they would invite their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. When a period of feasting had run its course, Job would make arrangements for them to be purified. Early in the morning he would sacrifice a burnt offering for each of them, thinking, "Perhaps my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." This was Job's regular custom, so he was offering an offering for others, just in case they did do something wrong. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and I won't say his name, the devil, also came with them. The Lord said to the devil, "Where have you come from?" The devil answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to the devil, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." "Does Job fear God for nothing?" The devil replied. "Have you not put a hedge around him and his household and everything he has? You have blessed the work of his hands, so that his flocks and herds are spread throughout the land. But now stretch out your hand and strike everything he has, and he will surely curse you to your face." So the devil's challenging God, saying, "I dare you. You think he's so all holy and all that? I dare you to go strike him. Stretch out your hand, strike him, see if he doesn't curse you." The Lord said to the devil, "Very well then, everything he has is in your power, but on the man himself do not lay a finger." He says to the devil, "Okay, you can go after everything he has, but do not lay a finger on him." Excuse me. So then the devil went out from the presence of the Lord. One day when Job's sons and daughters, this may be before he was banished from heaven. So one day when Job's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabaeans attacked and made off with them. They put their servants to the sword, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "The fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I'm the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, another messenger came and said, "The Chaldeans formed 3 raiding parties and swept down on your camels and made off with them. They put their servants to the sword, and I'm the only one who has escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, "Your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, when suddenly a mighty wind swept in from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead. And I am the only one who has escaped to tell you." So everything was taken from him, but he himself was not touched. At this, Job got up and tore his robe and shaved his head. Then he fell to the ground and worshipped and said, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing, so he didn't get pissed at God. I got pissed at God. He forgave him. Of course, he knew he was going to do that. He knew I was going to do that. But after losing a number of people, boom, 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 one finalist said, "Why?" Because I didn't understand it, that particular person. Why? Because he was healing. He had healed and brought it back into my life, getting stronger, coming back to my path, right where we're ready to be back in each other's lives, face to face. Boom, he took her. And I just didn't get it. So I cursed God up and down. We all feel that way sometimes because we don't understand. It comes from lack of understanding. And then pain. And then I understand later. It's like, ooh, like everybody's, it was a blessing for her, not unselfishly, it was a blessing for her to live in her memory, which she had lost, and have hope and love to fill her heart again before it was her time. When it's her time, it's her time. Nothing stops that. Before we are conceived, that alarm clock for how long we're here in this world is set. Nothing which God can change it. 99.9% of the time, He doesn't. Sometimes He'll delay it with prayer and requests. So just delay it a little bit so you can maybe tie up loose ends, that sort of thing. But mainly, time's up, time's up. No matter who you are, what you have, where you're at, what you're doing, you're gone from this world. So I understood that. That's why she left, because it was her time. So why did He bring back into my life? For her, not for me. Well, for me, that taught me something and helped me get rid of some stuff that I didn't understand. So He gave me understanding after that. It took years, but I got it. So she's in a good place. And heard from her since then. So I'm glad for her. It's not about us, not about you, about him. Naked I came from my mother's womb, naked I will depart. I came into this world with nothing, I leave this world with nothing. The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. So that did not kill his faith in God. He did not get mad at God. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. Job 2. On another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and the devil also came with them to present himself before God. Now, these might be other angels, maybe the angels that were following the devil. I don't know. The devil's corrupting them. The Lord said to the devil, "Where have you come from?" The devil answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." And the Lord said to the devil, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil. And he still maintains his integrity, though you incited me against him to ruin him without any reason." "Skin for skin," the devil replied. "A man will give all he has for his own life. But now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face." So skin for skin, a man will give all he has, which he lost everything, for his own life, as long as he's okay, or she's okay. But now stretch out your hand and strike him himself, and he will surely curse you to your face. Again, he's challenging God. So the Lord said to the devil, no, God didn't do it. He told the devil to go and do it. The Lord said to the devil, "Very well then, he is in your hands, but you must spare his life." So he can beat the crap out of Job personally, but you can't take his life. So the devil went out from the presence of the Lord and afflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. And Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it as he sat among the ashes. His wife said to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." He replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" In all this, Job did not sin in what he said. Because a lot of the trouble, 9 times out of 10, trouble that befalls us is a result of our own personal free will choice at some point in time. And the results of that choice may accumulate over time, hit us, or it might be immediate, or somewhere in between. And other times it's the devil trying to draw a wedge between us and God, pull us away, corrupt us. You have to fight against that. And sometimes it's God just trying to get your attention, or a loving parent trying to discipline you, smack you upside the head, give you a little spanking on the butt, trying to straighten you out, keep you on course, or to prevent you, because he knows the course you're on is a disaster waiting, so he wants to prevent you or detour you for different reasons. When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz the Temanite, Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite, heard about all the troubles that had come upon him, they set out from their homes and met together by agreement to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep aloud, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their heads. Then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to him because they saw how great his suffering was. Job 3. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He said, "May the day of my birth perish, and the night that said, a boy is conceived. That day may it turn to darkness. May God above not care about it. May no light shine on it. May gloom and utter darkness claim it once more. May a cloud settle over it. May blackness overwhelm it. That night may thick darkness seize it. May it not be included among the days of the year, nor be entered in any of the months. May that night be barren. May no shout of joy be heard in it. May those who curse days curse that day, those who are ready to rouse Leviathan. May its morning stars become dark. May it wait for daylight in vain, and not see the first rays of dawn. For it did not shut the doors of the womb on me to hide trouble from my eyes." He's basically cursing his own birth and existence. He's cursing the day he was born. "Why did I not perish at birth and die as I came from the womb? Why were there knees to receive me, and breasts that I might be nursed? For now I will be lying down in peace, I will be asleep and at rest, with kings and rulers of the earth who built for themselves places now lying in ruins, with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden away in the ground like a stillborn child, like an infant who never saw the light of day?" Now I'd ask him, why was he even born, only to suffer like this? There the wicked cease from turmoil, and there the weary are at rest. Captives also enjoy their ease. They no longer hear the slave drivers shout. The small and the great are there, and the slaves are freed from their owners because they're no longer in this world. Why is light given to those in misery, and life to the bitter of soul, to those who long for death that does not come, who search for it more than for hidden treasure, to those for the lowly? were filled with gladness and rejoiced when they reached the grave. Why is life given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For sighing has become my daily food. My groans pour out like water. What I feared has become upon me. What I dreaded has happened to me. I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest, but only turmoil. So he's lowly. He's feeling sorry for himself. He's questioning his existence. Why was he even put here? Why was he even born? Cursing the day he was born. So his friends start to reply on chapter 4. Then Eliphaz the Temanite replied, if someone ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? But who can keep from speaking? Think how you have instructed many, how you have strengthened feeble hands. Your words have supported those who stumbled. You have strengthened faltering knees, saying like all you have done, all those you have helped. But now trouble comes to you, and you are discouraged. It strikes you, and you are dismayed. And this can happen. Can happen to me. It's happened to me. Helping others, and then what came upon me, misfortune. I didn't deal with it well. I might have felt sorry for myself. And we all go through some degree of this. We forget, we lose sight of the reason we're going through. Maybe we got like Joe, maybe we got a little too self-righteous, maybe we got a little too cocky, maybe we're doing all these nice things. Okay, it's not about us, it's about him. Should not your piety be your confidence, and your blameless ways your hope? Consider now, who, being innocent, has ever perished? Where were the upright ever destroyed? As I have observed, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it. At the breath of God they perish, at the blast of his anger they are no more. The lions may roar and growl, yet the teeth of the great lions are broken. The lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. A word was secretly brought to me. My ears caught a whisper of it. Amid disquieting dreams in the night, when deep sleep falls on people, fear and trembling seized me and made all my bones shake. A spirit glided past my face, and the hair on my body stood on end. It stopped, but I could not tell what it was. A form stood before my eyes, and I heard a hushed voice that said, "Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can even a strong man be more pure than his Maker? If God places no trust in his servants, if he charges his angels with error, how much more those who live in houses of clay, whose foundations are in the dust, who are crushed more readily than a moth? Between dawn and dusk they are broken to pieces unnoticed, they perish forever. Are not the cords of their tent pulled up so they die without wisdom?" So if God, who disciplines his angels, charges them with error, how much more so, much more easily to those of us in physical form, just mere human beings, will we not do the same or more? We are his beautiful creation. He loves us, he disciplines us. But we're not to think that we're better than him, or better than anybody else for that matter. Self-righteousness, what he's addressing, speaking of here. Chapter 5, still the same friend speaking. Call if you will, but who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Resentment kills a fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen a fool taking root. Again, resentment kills a fool, and envy slays the simple. I myself have seen a fool taking root, but suddenly his house was cursed. His children are far from safety, crushed in court without a defender. The hungry consume his harvest, taking it even from among thorns, and the thirsty pant after his wealth. For hardship does not spring from the soil, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. Yet man is born to trouble as surely as sparks fly upward. There's going to be trouble. We're not going to be protected. We're not protected from it. It is in the world. But if I were you, I would appeal to God. I would lay my current cause before him. He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted. He provides rain for the earth, sends water on the countryside. The lowly he sets on high, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He thwarts the plans of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. He catches the wise in their craftiness, and the schemes of the wily are swept away. Darkness comes upon them in the daytime, as noon they grope as in the night. He saves the needy from the sword in their mouth, he saves them from the clutches of the powerful. So the poor have hope, and injustice shuts its mouth. He's always there to help, correct things, help the lowly. Nothing goes unseen or unnoticed. He's prescient, he knows it all beforehand. Blessed is the one whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. Blessed is the one who is a loving parent. If your parents didn't give a crap, they let you do whatever you want, they didn't straighten you out, discipline you, guide you, how are you going to turn out? Not very well. Blessed is the one whom God corrects, because God loves them. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty, for he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heal. Yes, he's the potter. Sometimes he's going to remold you. From six calamities he will rescue you. In 7 no harm will touch you. In famine he will deliver you from death, and in battle from the stroke of the sword. You will be protected from the lash of the tongue, and need not fear when destruction comes. You will laugh at destruction and famine, and need not fear the wild animals. For you will have a covenant with the stones of the field, and the wild animals will be at peace with you. You will know that your tent is secure. You will take stock of your property and find nothing missing. You will know that your children will be many, and your descendants like the grass of the earth. You will come to the grave in full vigor, like sheaves gathered in season. We have examined this, and it is true, so hear it and apply it to yourself. So he's preaching to them. This is I would some have just many others. And I may start to do it sometimes, feeling a little too full of myself. The Lord either let me be unsuccessful, will straighten me out, set me down. Mine was like, don't get too cocky, too self-assured. Always remain humble. And humility is one of the best weapons against darkness. Maybe the greatest weapon against darkness. So that's his first friend speaking to him. So we'll end there. We'll pick up in chapter 6 when Job gives his reply to this first friend's advice. So I hope that gives some idea. Job is kind of an important teaching book about self-righteousness and humility and patience with God, and the reason for why some things happen in our life. So I hope this helped you. And feel free to read on Job. Just watch these when I post them, continuing explaining Job. So, peace of Christ. God bless. Stay safe.